While everyone else was focused on tech, we just closed out of a position on the bond ETF for a really solid gain. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why we took the trade, what the setup was, and how we managed the risk on the position. Now, a question that I get quite a bit right now is, Mike, are you concerned with the news cycle? Are you concerned with the potential for movement in interest rates, potential slowdown in the economy, the conflict over in Russia, Ukraine, potential conflict with China? You go through the list. What's driving this market will change over time, but what doesn't change? If I go back 4 or 5 years, the headlines were different. Were we talking about AI 4 or 5 years ago? We weren't. What drives markets will change, but what doesn't? What doesn't is price action, right? Price action will price in news faster than we can interpret the news. The price action on the charts will tell us everything that we need to know. And that's why our decision to take trades or not, and whether we're bullish or bearish, is driven by price on the chart, not based on what we're hearing in the headlines, what we're hearing on financial media, what the experts are saying. I'm focused on price. Price is king. And if I take a look at this chart on TLT, I'm not going to go into a big macro view of the economy. I'm not going to talk about interest rates. I'm focused strictly on price action. And what that does is it simplifies the whole trading game for me. I'm focused on the technicals, not based off of what I expect the market to do or what the economy is going to do 6 to 12 months from now. This is just going out too far in time. Too much can change between now and then. Let's focus on price in the near term, and let's be focused on potential bullish and bearish trades. I'm not going to fall into one camp or the other. I'm open to anything the market gives us. Well, here on TLT, this is a 130-minute chart. It's the same chart, same time frame, same indicators that I use on the tech stocks. When I'm trading Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, I love those names. I love tech. This is the same chart that I use on those tech stocks. It simplifies the process. It gives me a disciplined rule set that I can use. What I don't like is throwing all my eggs into one basket. I love trading the tech stocks, but I also know there's other great markets out there, like some of these ETFs. TLT, which is the bond ETF, not on everybody's radar, but I'd love to trade it because it still keeps me pretty active. But it's not a product I have to sit there and babysit all day long like you have to do with some of the tech stocks that are very volatile. It provides another layer of diversification. Now, we have a very specific set of criteria that we look for on all of our trades, both on the bullish and the bearish side. And we've programmed that criteria into what we call our trade calculator. When that criteria is met, we get an exact entry point, we get target levels, and we get a stop mapped out on the chart for us in real time. It drastically reduces the emotional aspect of trading because now I have a disciplined rule set in place. If I take a look at this chart on TLT, this was a long setup. You can see the green dots mapping out that long trade for us. I'm not looking to capture every swing, every little move in the market. I'm looking for a very specific set of criteria that I know will produce very high winning rates over time. When we got this long setup, the entry point, if you take a look at my data window on the right-hand side, you'll see my entry point was at 87.57. So I know where my entry point is to the penny. I'm not going to jump into that trade until that point is hit. It has to officially touch the entry point. And it took a couple of days for us to hit that entry. It wasn't one where I have to sit there all day long glued to my screens. I knew in advance exactly where to get in. A couple of days later, we did hit that entry point. That's the green light. That's the market's way of telling me, hey, time to get into a bullish trade on TLT. Now, we use the options, right? We're on the retail side with you guys. I want to use the options to take advantage of the leverage, tie up less capital. So here on this long trade, we came in and we bought the 87 calls for $1.57. $157 of capital required to take the trade. That's the most I can lose on the position, and I have unlimited profit potential on the upside. Notice what happened. Once that entry point was hit, when do I get out? Notice I have 2 green dots up above. My first green dot, that's my money management level. Once that level's hit, I reduce the stop, move the stop to break even, take the risk off the trade. And then ultimately, I'm looking to close out of the position once that second target is hit. No guesswork involved. Once that second target's hit, I'm not saying, well, maybe I should hold on, target the bigger winner. Nope, once that target's hit, I'm out of the position. It takes the guesswork out of the equation. The key here is these setups are dynamic. Those target levels are based on range in the market. What that does is it allows me to maximize my profit potential while reducing the risk as much as I can. And it's based off of how active the markets are. If we see volatility explode, the size of the setups will be bigger. If we start to see range contract, you're going to start to see smaller setups. We're really fine-tuning this approach to what the market's given us. That way the system doesn't break down as market conditions change. And look how powerful that is, right? We put this position on, and the very next day, we came up and we hit that second target. Again, no guesswork involved. I'm out of the position. We closed it out, booked a $59 profit per contract, 38% return on our capital, $177 of profit if risking $500 per trade or less. I'm just throwing that out there as an example, using that $500 number because that fits a lot of retail accounts. If you take this trade with 10 contracts, 20 contracts, the setup doesn't change. You're just simply adjusting your position size to how much capital you're trading with. So really nice return. And look what happened. After we hit that second target, here's the power. Look what happened. I'm not saying this market can't move higher, but at least in the near term, that was it. Price action has stalled out, and it's even started to roll back over to the downside. The system did exactly what it was designed to do. I'm not going back and printing these dots after the fact. These are printed in real time. We hit that target, price action stalled out, we booked our profit, and we're out. Right now, a 38% return. Couldn't we have made more money had we traded a weekly option? We could have. But when I put this trade on, my expectation was we could potentially have to be in that trade for 5 to 10 days. I want to have a little bit of cushion there just in case I have to hold longer than expected. By going out almost 30 days to expiration here, it gave me a more forgiving trade. I gave up the bigger profit potential. Had we gone with a shorter term option, I could have made, potentially 50 to 100% on my return. But in doing so, it just put more time pressure on the trade. With how the market's been trading, I wanted to have a little bit more forgiveness, have a little bit more time on my side. Ended up leaving a little bit of profit on the table. We saw a smaller percentage return than normal, but it did give me a more forgiving trade. Still allowed me to get in and out very, very quickly, turn over my capital. And now you can see in the current candle that's forming, there may be a bearish setup here over the next few days. You can see these magenta dots down below. We have potentially have a new short trade setting up. I am not concerned with making a bullish or a bearish bet for weeks or months at a time. I'm open to trades in either direction. I couldn't care less if the market moves higher or lower long term. As a trader, there's things I can do in both directions. So really great trade there on TLT. Really nice to book that quick profit in this market with anything possible, with headlines breaking at any point in time. It's nice to be able to book that quick profit, free up the capital, and move on to the next trade. All right, now, if you'd like more details on how we trade options at Netpicks, go ahead and click on the link in the description of the video. We do have a free report that you can download, giving you more insight into how we trade options, how you can utilize some of these rules in real time. So go ahead and click on that link. We'd love to get you that information. And please like and subscribe to the video. It really helps us out as we continue to bring you more content here in the days ahead. And if you have any topics that you would like us to cover, topics that you may be struggling with, looking for more information on, feel free to let us know. You can always leave a comment and we can get that content to you right away. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'll be back with you guys over the next few days with our next video.
Everything discussed here is our opinion, and it is not to be taken as investment advice because we are not your financial advisor, nor have we considered your personal situation as your fiduciary. This presentation is for your education and entertainment only. Please review Netpicks' full risk